We have Iyad on the phone now, so let's cue him up. Iyad, welcome to WPFW.
Hello, how are you?
We're doing just fine, and really excited to talk about you and your upcoming concert this coming Monday that my friend Burnett Thompson arranged for you to come to D.C. So tell us a little bit about how you started playing the piano. What got you going when you were growing up?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure speaking to you. I grew up in Jordan, and the story is that when I was about 3 or 4, my father decided to buy an electric keyboard for my older sisters to play on, and apparently they had absolutely no interest in it whatsoever. And I was told that I would hear things from the TV and radio, and I would just play them by ear. And so that encouraged my parents to speak to the music teacher at my school, who very kindly decided to introduce me to the music conservatoire in Amman. And I stayed there till I was 14, and then I moved to the UK to pursue, my studies in music, and now my career.
Okay. So you're actually, your parents were Palestinian. So
yeah, they are.
And how did they make their way to Jordan? What was their...
it's like many people in the West Bank, sort of
Sure.
after the '67 war, things got a little bit too difficult.
Sure.
And so they decided to immigrate to Jordan. I was born in Amman.
Okay. Yes. You actually identify as Palestinian, and I understand that. Absolutely, absolutely. I won't go into my tour 30 years ago, or 1987, I guess, to the West Bank and Gaza Strip, and how things have so changed and deteriorated since then. But we'll not go there. Let's go back. Let's go to your music. So you really are known for playing Aram Khachaturian, if I'm pronouncing his name right. So how did you approach the artist that you feature?
Like you said, I've been very fortunate to have been given the opportunity to record his complete piano music, and I've done the first 2 albums, and actually I go back into the studio in October to finish his complete piano works. And Khachaturian is an Armenian composer, and Armenian music is very, very similar to Arabic music in a way. It has very similar elements. They use some modes, some of the rhythms, and I always think that's probably my soft spot for it. It's a kind of yearning for home in a way.
Oh, okay. And who are some of the other composers that you delve into?
I play all sorts, actually. I do quite a lot. But I'd probably say I do a lot of Khachaturian, I do a lot of Mozart, actually, just completely different, opposite sides, really, musically. But I try to always, include, or try to vary my programs as much as possible.
Now, let me backtrack a little bit in terms of, you're developing your piano skills. How were you educated in terms of, pushing forward before you started your career?
As I said, I studied in Amman until I was 14, and then I moved to Manchester. I went to a specialist music school called Cheetham School of Music, and I, finished my high school there. And then I stayed in Manchester, and I did an undergraduate studies, and then I moved to London, did a couple of years of master's degree, then came back to Manchester, did another degree, and then I've been there ever since, really. I travel all around, but Manchester's very much home. Okay, fine.
So, have you toured the United States before? Is this?
I have, actually, and that's where I met our mutual friend Burnett.
Okay,
I played in D.C. In 2019 at the Arts Club in Washington.
Okay,
and we got on like a house on fire.
Fantastic. Really. No. Burnett's marvelous in terms of what he's been doing for piano in Washington D.C. And it's been primarily a jazz piano series that I've been connected with, and interviewing all of the artists that he's featured, and I'm really looking forward to your performance next Monday. Tell us about what we can expect at the Decatur House on Monday night.
Okay, so I'll be playing 4 items. I'll be playing 4 composers. I'll be opening the program with a work that I commissioned by a fantastic composer from the UK, and she's a very good friend of mine called Helen Ottaway. And I'll be starting the program with a work called Levantina, which is actually going to be its US debut. I played it quite a lot in the UK, and this is the first time I play in the US. Levantina is a piece of music that is based on a song, actually, from the Levant. And it's a beautiful, beautiful melody and a beautiful song that Palestinian women used to sing back in the day with a coded message. And it's a beautiful song that dates back to the 1800s, and it's quite a nice piece, very, very atmospheric. And then I'll be moving on to something very classical. I'll be playing Schubert's Drei Klavierstücke, or the 3 piano pieces, and then I'll be playing Sibelius's impromptus, which are quite rare that nobody actually plays, and these are also very, very contrasting pieces. They're all very short, and then I'll be finishing the program with the Caturin Piano Sonata.
Okay. You know, your career from the other side of the United States very much reminds me of my wife's cousin, Terrence Wilson, African-American, growing up in the Bronx, and just working on a keyboard and finding out, going from teacher to teacher, until finally, going to the arts school in New York, becoming a classical pianist, touring the world or whatever, And again, it's an exciting career, but it's also sometimes a struggle in terms of developing the contacts and all of that.
Yeah.
So this is you're at Middlebury College performing tomorrow night. It's the start of...
I am, yes. I'm calling you from a hotel room in Middlebury.
And as I mentioned off the air to you, that's where my granddaughter goes to school, and I'm going to get a hold of her and encourage her to hear the performance tomorrow night. I'm really excited about that.
It'd be great to meet her.
So it's Middlebury, and then the Decatur House in D.C. on Monday, and where from there?
And then I get a bit of sunshine. I go to Tampa in South Florida, the University of South Florida for a few days, and I play there. And then I end the tour in Oakland, California. And oh God, it's escaped me now.
That's okay.
All that jet lag.
Sure.
Northeastern University.
Oh yeah, no. Well, yes, I have. I have my grandson, the brother of the granddaughter who's at Middlebury, lives in California, in the Bay Area. So maybe I can encourage him to hear you also.
Oh, wow. Yes, please. Yeah.
Get both grandkids out. But in any case, again, this coming Monday, it's at the Decatur House, and folks can get tickets by going online to pianojazz.com. If you just go to the website pianojazz.com, it'll link you to where tickets are available, and the performance is at the Decatur House. Decatur House Museum, actually, is what it's called, right near the White House, around the corner from there, and that'll be Monday night at 7:00. And again, I want to thank Burnett Thompson for arranging the interview, and we got it going. So he texted me. He said it's Mills College where you're going to be performing in the Bay Area. Where
I got there in the end.
Yeah, right. Dave Brubeck. Dave Brubeck was a student there many years ago. So there's another piano connection there. Tell us about what we have queued up from the piano sonata.
Sorry?
What we have, we're going to hear the first movement from the Caturin Piano Sonata.
Absolutely. It's by far, I think, I was saying it today because I was working with some students today at the in Vermont at Middlebury College, and I sort of said it's possibly one of the most fun pieces to play. It's got all sorts of exciting rhythms, very Armenian. It's got a massive influence of folk music, but it also has got some sort of jazz elements, believe it or not. And I do think this is Caturin really experimenting sort of getting out and meeting all sorts of composers at that point. And I think he wrote a fantastic sonata that nobody seems to play for some reason.
Well, we're going to play it right now, and you're going to play it on Monday.
I'm going to play on Monday.
Fantastic. Yeah. So again, this is exciting. Also, the music of Schubert and Sibelius. Again, Iyad, thanks for calling in tonight. It's been a real delight to talk with you, and
you.
Yeah, and shifting gears a little bit musically, it's always a pleasure to spread my wings a little bit to other areas. So,
well, it's an absolute pleasure chatting to you.
Fantastic.
So thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome.
All right. Cheers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.